2017, January 1st. I'm Oatmeal Joey Arnold. This is my private diary. Don't watch this video. Only Joey Arnold can watch this video. Really get angry when people don't know who's left. I say this to Rick. Don't you know if Republicans left or not? Don't you know? Because it's pretty easy to know if they lost fake news all day on the TV. I see it, and at the end of 2017, and probably saw it before that at times. What would I know? I've been gone for 5 years in Vietnam, but I'm back and I'm ready to go, try to make America great again and everything. I was at Godfather's Pizza on the last day of 2017, that was yesterday, Sunday, with Thomas's family, and their sister, other people in the family, their family from the Daily Baptist Church. I already talked about this in my last video, but I decided to start over and make the video again. This video is intended just for the record, and that's what I normally do. I've been trying to do this every day, and I started about 2 weeks ago, somewhere in the middle of December 2017. Got back from Vietnam Thanksgiving 2017. That was 23rd of November 2017, and I was in Vietnam for 5 years, and so I was teaching English mostly, and I was a freelancer. Technically speaking, I was just traveling and stuff. Legally speaking, that is, but practically I was making a difference, and therefore teaching, because I was just like, helping people and talking to people. People wanted to talk to me and stuff, and I was donated to and stuff, and that was good. I'm going to Safeway right now. I'm gonna try to see if I can use the Wi-Fi there. I used the Wi-Fi there before, some years ago, probably 2011, 2012, when I was in Vietnam. In America, the last time. Back home again. That's what I'm trying to say. Back home again. Came back home about 4 times. I was born in Forest Grove, 85. Grew up in that trailer in 163 at the Rose Grove Mobile Home Park, and that was good. I was there for about 19 years, 85 to 04, and that was good. I was homeschooled, and I went to Forest Grove High School, Go Vikings, and that was good. And then I left. So I got out of that place. Like, I want Katie to know. I left, got out, and I probably would never know what it would be like to ever come back, because it wasn't really my plan to come back or whatever. And I've been having mixed feelings about that, but I did come back to live there. Came back home in 07, and then 08, and then 11, okay, and now 17. So that was, again, I repeat, 07, 08, 11, and 17. So this is my 4th time coming back, but it might have been the first time that I came back with that really having to do it. Like, I didn't have to do it. I don't really think, I want people to know that I really didn't have to do it, but the optics, the perception is that I probably had to do it. People would kind of think, well, because you didn't really have anything else to do. But I was doing other stuff, and I was going to work on, what I was doing in Vietnam and everything. I was going to live there forever, and everything was going to be all right and everything. And so I felt like everything was all right. And there were problems and stuff, and I wanted to know answers. And sometimes you're not going to know the answers to what happens, like say you have a passport, you have a visa, and you have, like, say you want to know, can you do this, can you do that? And people are not direct, especially people who have the job of telling you what you can or cannot do. It's difficult, but there are, ways to solve problems, or to, do another thing, like maybe another job, maybe another location where you live and stuff, and maybe you try again. Maybe, I'm rambling, and for people who don't know, who are not in the of what I'm talking about, it's a long story if you don't already know about, traveling. If you don't understand how to get a passport and visa, and how to extend it, and other travel agencies and the lawyers. Sometimes you have to go to lawyers, and sometimes you got to go to the immigration department, and sometimes you got to talk to different people, and sometimes they're not clear or honest, or sometimes they don't know the answers, and that's very disappointing when they're not honest with you. And then you tell other people about your problems, and they're like, well, it must be you, but it's not you. But now the perception, again, like Scott Adams talks about, is that you're the one that's an idiot, even though you're not. My mother knows a lot about that because she's been to a lot of doctors and stuff, and the doctors are not always going to do the best thing, whether or not they know it or not. They may not help you because you got to think about the whole body, for example, and it may be difficult if you only help a part of the body, but then there's a side effect that hurts the other part of the body. That's just an example of, it's difficult to really know how to make a difference. If you don't know the whole story, people don't really know the whole story about me, and I haven't been really making it really clear. I've been starting these diaries more often the last 2 weeks or so, and trying to make it a habit, because I need to practice being more clear and stuff, and it's difficult to be clear because it's just really hard to know how to connect to people when they're not at the same wavelength as you. If they're not really interested in being the kind of person that really wants to understand the world. I really just want to continue to do what Oatmeal does. I'm Oatmeal, like I said. I started the first video today at the park near my house, and it's just interesting. I see people playing, little kids playing. There's a different generation there than when I was a kid, and those things they keep coming and going. You start to feel old after around 32, and I was born in 85. And I know I'm not old compared to older people, but, compared to the younger people, I'm older than them, and I'm starting to be old. And, being around younger people, especially even at the Daily Bible Church and with Thomas, this one person makes the difference. For the younger person, they need older people. They need, mentors and people they can look up to. At the same time, the older people may need the younger people in order to remind them that they're necessary and needed and stuff. That's why having different generations in your own household is very crucial. It's very beneficial. It helps the development of the different age groups, the different people, the son, the father, the grandfather, or even people who are not exactly related in that exact way by blood and everything. Just different generations in the house, in the neighborhood, in the community, in the state, in the country, and having relationships that are built, that helps a lot. A lot of times people get away from that, and I tell you, if you don't already know, that's very, very important to have. And so I really want to do the best I can to promote the things that I care about, including just like having communities, having groups. Like I said in the last video, I was gonna stand up and share my recap, my reflection for 2017, being in a transition, not knowing everything about what I may do in the future. I just want to continue to do what I've done in my life. And I know I don't have all the answers and everything, I'm not perfect. But, like Alex Jones, I'm trying, like the InfoWars and the George Report and everybody else, I really want to just do what they do. I want to, be able to share history with people who may not know all the different points of view of history. And, like, even with the Civil War, I have, the American history teacher at the Daily Bible Church, and he doesn't really talk about it. I don't know if he knows about it, but I would encourage him. I haven't done it yet. Maybe I should, but I'm still not really sure how long I'm gonna be in Forest Grove. FG, I'm gonna call it Forest Grove FG. So, and it's good that I got a gift card. I got a gift card from the secretary at the FG First Christian Church, and I got it last Wednesday, and I got to use it at like $15, and that's good to help each other out, and people help me. Not to say that I deserve it or not, but just the fact that I have it is something that I want to talk about. Just to say, I'm going to try to use what I have, use what is given to me, whether it's given from God, by God, the Creator, whether or not there's God out there or not. Is not relevant all the time. Like, you don't have to believe in him to know that there seems to be some kind of design, and there seems to have been a creator out there. Like, if you don't see that, it's kind of ridiculous. We can't just say that we can prove God. As a Christian, if you believe in God, you can't always say that. You can't. I mean, you want to say that because you believe in that deep inside your heart. You believe that there is a God and everything, and you see the miracles, and you can explain it that way, and it's your point of view, and it's been my point of view most of my life, my 32 years of life. I'm almost 33 next month, and we can see that. But at the same time, you should consider the other point of view, not to say that the other one is wrong, or right. But you wanna try to help people get to where you are, but they may not want to, and that's the difficult thing for me. I really want people to, believe whatever I believe, and feel and think whatever I do, and do what I do too, and basically all that, all that jazz. Like I really want to do that, especially when I was younger. The younger I was, the more I was more fanatical in trying to get people to just see my point of view. I thought, if I just do a lot of talking and say it persuasively, like, you gotta know because of this and that, and I was very argumentative, and I still am, but I'm trying to do it less often as I can now as I get older. But it's difficult, but I encourage you to be a little patient at times, especially when you're in a hard time in your life. That's what I was going to say yesterday when we were talking about 2017 at the Daily Bible Church, and that was good to be there. And I was going to talk about, if my people call by my name and turn from evil and seek his face, I will seek the face of God, then God will come and help and do a lot of good things, and that happens with Israel, God's chosen nation. Thousands of years ago, God was doing that, and the stories are there. It's history for a reason, and then help, and that was the foundation for the church age that came after that. And that's where we are now, for the last 2,000 years or so, and that's good to understand that history has a lot of patterns. That's why you learn history, to understand that if you honor God, God will help you in a lot of ways, not necessarily in all the ways that you think, because you may not be able to guarantee every single thing that you may want with the prosperity gospel. You may be turned off. Maybe you saw something on TV where they said, well, you have to give us a lot of money, and then God's gonna bless you if you give to us. And then you see another commercial, or you see something, you go somewhere, and they say, no, give to me. And then another pastor or another place, another ministry will say, no, you gotta give to me. Oh no, give to me. No, they may not actually say that. A lot of them don't really say that. But that's kind of the implication, especially if some of them might say, well, if you have a local church, then you can give to them first, or most of the money to them. That's probably the better idea. I would say, you just got to be very smart about your money, because that's a responsibility that God gives us. And whether or not there's a God or not, it's better to be wise and to invest wisely into the things that you care about. And if you have a different point of view, that's fine, as long as you're willing to talk about with other people and to consider the other point of view and stuff. And a lot of times, especially from the left, they're not doing that. And that's the criticism that I have. That's the problem that I have with the left, even with Robin Baker, Jeremy Dawson, and Don Arnold, my dad, and I'm upset with Rick. Don't you know that they are left? And then he's kind of like, oh, I don't know, we didn't talk about politics. But you can see it in their eyes, in their face, and what they do, what they say, what they don't say, what they do, what they don't do. You can see and you can know. And when somebody asks you, oh, are they left? You can just say, yeah, they're left. But some people are like, even my own family, I ask them questions, I want to know the answers, it's going to help. I think it's going to help, and they're like, they're not very clear. And I really, really hope that they can be clear, but at the same time, maybe I don't need to make a big issue about this, and maybe I need to just forgive and forget, or forgive and not forget, or forget and not forgive, or forgive and forget. I don't know exactly. And I gotta focus on my life and everything as much as I can, because that's the only thing that I can change, obviously, step at a time, one step at a time kind of thing. And I'm rambling and everything, but I do care, and I'm going to continue to try to fix my hard drive, and I'm going to show you some of the screenshots of that. I finished watching Full House yesterday. Fuller House, the third season of Fuller House, and I started it Saturday, and then I was watching Sunday, and now I'm done. Finishing all 18 episodes, season 3 of Fuller House. It's interesting, but no Giselle, so maybe she was raped or something. Maybe she was abused and stuff, or maybe it's just them choosing not to join the Olsen twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. Maybe they just don't want to be a part of it or something. Maybe they don't really need it because they have a lot of money. And maybe it's a combination of a lot of things that they're not part of the Fuller House show, and that's too bad. And really, really was hoping to see them. At the end of the last episode, the two girls were like, I wonder what Steve Urkel's doing. That's really interesting. I don't know exactly how Steve Urkel would do his role, whether he'd be Stefan or Steve Urkel. It's a good question. I really want to know, but I'm going to continue to make these diaries every day, if I can. It's probably the only thing I can do consistently. I really do like making videos, so I'm making myself do this, and I really want to talk about everything that's happened in my life. I want to keep a record in case I need to remember something, or in case somebody else needs to know something about my life or something. They can look through this, even though I say it's private. Obviously it's not private, because if you can see it, then it's not private. So I'm just kind of like pretending that it's private, but it's not. Maybe I should go to McDonald's and work there or eat there. So I'm just thinking out loud, and I was just thinking about whether or not I should work somewhere or not work somewhere. I guess it depends if I really like the employer. If I really like the employer, maybe I would do it. But everybody has this problem, So it's like, you gotta humble yourself kind of thing. So maybe I'm not humbling myself, so maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'll never have a life if I never humble myself and realize that I'm just a normal person, even though I'm not. But I am. But nobody is, and nobody is, and everybody isn't at the same time. It's a paradox. Everything and nothing at the same time. I got some hope over dope, and joy over circumstances. And I'm just trying to figure out exactly what I can do. I feel very, very uncertain and very uncomfortable about whether or not I could, live here or live there, work here or work there, or can I do a little bit of both? in regards to like work and where I live and who do I associate with, or who do I try to talk to, who can I be friends with, where do I go on Sunday, on Wednesday, and you know, the stuff that I do at night and stuff I do in the morning. What can I do, what can I not do? These are the questions I still struggle with. I'm 32 years old. I'm Oatmeal Joey Arnold. Welcome to the Oatmeal Joey Arnold Show. Don't know, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And it's a small city, pretty small city, about 20,000 people, over 20,000 people, and it's good, I guess. I grew up here, so I have a connection. I like it. A little bit worried if there's too many Mexicans, but as I walk by, I don't know exactly if you can take that out of context. If I were to be famous or something, that's what they do with some people who are really, really famous. They take words out of context and say, hey, look what Trump said. He said that, you know, some Mexicans are rapists. And the thing you gotta know, if you don't know, you gotta know that some people are gonna be a certain way. You can find bad people all over the world, of every color, of any religion, any color, any gender. You can see all kinds of people, good people, bad people, and that's true. Now, statistically speaking, there are higher probabilities, and there's a bigger group of like bad people, for example, in one group as compared to another group. So that's basically what Donald Trump was trying to say. He didn't say all of them, and that's what people are doing. And there's other famous people on the right are criticized that way. I really want to, find a community of people who are more right, so I can, feel a little safer around them. I want to have a car, and I want to have guns, and I want to have houses, and I want to have, cryptocurrencies and all kinds of, different kinds of money and different kinds of things, and be able to, be more independent and everything. And I talk about this a lot, and I've talked about this in other videos too in my life for the last few years, or less than a few years, especially in 2017, maybe a little bit in 2016. Now it's 2018, and still talking about this stuff that I care about. I care about choices and freedoms and the ability to have independent power and stuff, and I feel like it's better. Of course it's better. There's no argument, and some people still argue, but that's too bad. So I think I'm gonna try to use a gift card. Like I said, I'm gonna try to go online today at Safeway a little bit, try to upload videos, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to restore my hard drive, an external hard drive. It's a Seagate with some kind of backup. It's called something Seagate Backup Plus, and I accidentally recorded over it a little bit. It's a 4 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive. Bought it in December 2017. So some weeks ago, bought it, $120 at Walmart. Talked about this before, still working on it. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. Maybe you can probably see it if you look around. Maybe you see it on my Steam It. Maybe you see some screenshots. Because I'm putting my journals, diaries on Steam It every day. I'm trying to upload it, write a little bit about it every day. Write a little vent thing, and I'm not really writing really well. I just throw a bunch of sentences together as fast as possible, and then I go on, and I'm still watching Lois and Clark, the new Adventures of Superman, that TV show from the 90s. That's good. And still got a lot more to say, but I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna try to work on the stuff, so eat more oatmeal.